This is Pretend Farmer Girl, and this is the beginning of what I thought was going to be just a renovation video. I'm showing you the bedroom, the closets, all the things that need to be done, the popcorn ceilings, and I was just like, okay, we didn't buy this property for the house, but I can make it look as nice as I can, right? So I started by just taking pictures of everything, and then I decided that I would just show you pieces of what I was going to do. So I started out but with my inexperience, patching holes, taking out all of the stuff that was hanging out of the walls, because we bought the place as is. And this is what happened next. This is Pretend Farmer Girl and the joys of owning your own home. We were gone for a week and a half and came back, and this room was flooded. We had a rug down, so you can see where the outline of the rug was, which was completely soaked, that we took outside. And in this place, the water heater is in the bathroom. So, thankfully we haven't moved in, and we're just doing work. But you can see the floor, that was where the water was sitting. So we don't know when it happened, but we are in the process of getting a new one, and yeah, fun times. So since we had this place for like a month, and when you walked in, you could smell the mold, and it was just like a shock, like, what is this? So we had to file a claim with the insurance company, and we moved everything out, which was only the bed and the carpet. The bed and the rug. And right here I'm showing you the obvious water damage that, just on the vinyl, and you could just smell the mold. And then where the water heater was, this was in front of it, and you can see the mold there. So the insurance company sent out a water drying place. These dryers were up for like 2 weeks. Then the adjuster came out and started ripping up the floor, and I'm just showing you pieces of the damage where the water had gone up. And we were just like, wow, this is pretty crazy, because we just bought the house. But with mold in Florida, I didn't want to take any chances of it not being taken care of, because there's so much mold around the house and moisture. So what I did is, while we were waiting for the repairs to be done, I started just moving ahead a little bit. I didn't want to be in the room that much because there was mold in there. So I just took off the doors, just kind of doing a little prep work. And this, you can see the door. There's like 2 little pieces on the outside with some styrofoam on the inside. It was pretty crazy. Now what I'm doing here is, since the vinyl flooring was already pulled out, I decided I wanted some cleaner lines along the bottom. So I pulled out all of the, I don't know, I guess they call it trim along the bottom. And then one of the things that's done in mobile homes is you pull out these strips and you mud them up, and it makes the wall look cleaner, So I decided to try that. And right now I'm hammering in all the nails that were sticking out. But in the long run, I decided that I'm not going to do that to all the walls right now, because I'm just learning how to do this. And I felt like, even though I was mudding and sanding and mudding and sanding, I did it like 5 times, that you could still see that there was something that was there. So in a later date, I'll go through, if I want to, and take care of all of this. But for now, I will just leave it as is. Now here's a picture of the ceiling, the trim, and the wall. And what I did is I took sealant, a silicone sealant, and I sealed everywhere where it looked like it hadn't been painted. So you can see the paint, and then you see the openings where it looks like it wasn't painted. It was, but it just looks open. So I went through and sealed it, and you can see how much of a finished look it gives. So in the corner there, you can see before I sealed it, and this is how it looks after I sealed it. So I really, really like the finished look of it. And I really kind of sealed every opening that I could in the house, because I just didn't want
any bugs. You know, I didn't want any sign of any bugs around. So I really like how it turned out, especially with the final paint job. Now this is what the wall looks like after the insurance and the mold people came in and took all the moldy parts out. They put this containment field up because then a professional came in and tested the air to make sure that all of the mold was gone. And so my part was that I've never done drywall before, but it doesn't seem that hard. So I like watched 100 videos on how to hang drywall, did tons of measurements. I didn't even know what kind of drywall to get. So I measured the drywall and took all my measurements to Home Depot and picked up the drywall and started in. And it was a bit of a learning process, but I actually really enjoyed it. So before all these stickums that you see are all my measurements for each place that I needed to measure and cut the drywall for. Right here is in where the water heater was, and it was pretty tricky. I ended up having to cut the drywall in half because I couldn't fit it in the closet, which is such a weird place to have a water heater. But before I put any of the drywall up, I went through and I trimmed all of the extra vinyl that they didn't get. I took care of all the nails. I took care of holes. I cleaned. We had the shop vac. I got it all cleaned up so that I could at least feel like when I was putting the drywall in that I was starting with a mostly clean slate. This is where the water heater was, so I had to decide which holes get to be kept open, which are closed. So I left them open until we had the water heater reinstalled, because I don't want any critters coming up through the floor. So it was quite an experience. But this is where I first started. This is the back side of the water heater. This is the inside of the closet. And I just started measuring, cutting, and mudding. And it was actually pretty rewarding. It's not perfect, but it's done. It's completed. I did it myself. Mr. Pretend Farmer Girl helped me when I needed help, but for the most part, I got it all up and mudded, and I didn't even say too many swear words. Just kidding. But then after that, I went in and I put the primer on the inside because I was only working in the bedroom at the time. So I was pretty pleased with myself and pretty excited on how it turned out.
This is where it was all torn out, and mostly in the closet because that's where the water heater is. So I've drywalled that, painted it. I'm in the process of priming in here. This whole lower wall was also taken out, and out here. So tomorrow is real paint day.
So I didn't want to put the vinyl flooring back down because I really didn't like the look. And so Mr. Pretend Farmer Girl said, how about if we try to paint it? So I thought that was a great idea. And I watched videos on what to fill the holes with, what kind of paint, and just all the prep work that needed to be done. And so you will see the floor done, the steps later in the video. And also I'm just giving you a rundown to see what the paint looks like that I put on it. You can't really see it that much, but the paint is on, and I bought a new light fixture, which I was really excited, and I have the paint on the trim as well. Here's the prepped floor on the white. You can see where I filled in where the nails had been put in. I ended up doing 3 coats of Kilz, K-I-L-Z, primer paint, and I just wanted to get a really even looking base coat before I put on the porch paint. And I think it turned out really well. Here's the final before I put the polyurethane on it. And I really like the polyurethane. It's a little slippery. So I'm going to, I've always been planning on putting rugs down, but this is what it looks like after the polyurethane. And I like it. I'm kind of going for the rustic look anyway, so I'm very pleased. All right, here's an angle. You can see how shiny it is, but we are definitely going to put down rugs, and you can see the trim, which still needs some, I need to finish up that work, but it matches the top trim, as you can see here. And I did the trim all around the doors, and I really like how it turned out. I got the curtains to match, so here you go. Thank you so much for watching, everybody, as I take you through this crazy journey. This is Pretend Farmer Girl signing out, and please like and subscribe. Have a great day.